morning, grade 4s. Today we are going to talk about the 4 types of sentences that we have been learning about so far. And as we go, we're just going to review some things that we need to be knowing about each one. The first one we're going to start off with is our noun. This is any person, place, thing, or it could be a thought, an idea. And a noun is almost always the subject of a sentence. And there are 2 basic types of nouns. The first one is a proper noun. The second one is an improper noun. A proper noun is like the name of something. So for example, a name of a person, like Miss Freeman, or the name of a place, like Paris, or maybe the name of a thing, like the name of your dog is Lucky. There we go. So that's what a proper noun is. An improper noun is just any old person, place, or thing. So it could be the lady. It could be the dog. It could be the pencil, but it doesn't have a specific name. It doesn't have a capital, therefore it's improper. Now we're getting to our second type, which is our verb. So a verb is any action word that causes for movement. So for example, run is an action verb, or climb. But there are some verbs that are a little bit trickier because they aren't necessarily actions. They're what we call helping verbs. So for example, am or is a helping verb. You could also have the word like are or had, have, all of those. If you remember, we had a list of so many of them, and those are just a few of them. So those are all of our verbs. Now the third type of thing in our sentence is an adjective, and an adjective always describes a noun. So for example, if I had a noun like dog, an adjective would describe dog, so the fluffy dog, or the smelly dog, or maybe there's 5 dogs, so I write 5 dogs. All of those are adjectives, and they always answer one of these types of questions. For example, what kind of dog? Well, it's a fluffy dog. How many dogs? 5 dogs. Or whose dog? Her dog could be an example there. So those are the types of things that are adjectives. They describe the noun. Finally, grade 4s, we have our pronoun, and a pronoun always replaces a noun. So pronouns would be things like he, she, us, they. All of those are different types of pronouns. And there are 3 main types of pronouns. The first pronouns are the ones that are used as subjects. These are definitely also considered nouns. So for example, I, as in I ran quickly through the forest. I is a subjective pronoun. It is used as a noun. The second one is an object. It's not the subject, it's not the main point in the sentence, but it's still a noun within the sentence. And an example of this could be us. He took us to his home. Us is not the subject, but it is still a noun in the sentence. The last one are our possessive pronouns, and these ones are always used as adjectives in a sentence. So for example, her. When we said her dog, her is a pronoun, but it's a pronoun that describes the dog. So therefore, it's not a noun, it's an adjective. So pronouns can be tricky because sometimes they are subjects, sometimes they are adjectives. So keep an eye out for those pronouns. So let's just review all together. Here is a sentence below. It has all 4 of these different types of things in it. It has Abby, which is a noun. It's also the subject of our sentence. Gave would be the verb of the sentence. Abby gave her new toy. Her is describing toy, and new is also describing toy. So even though her is a pronoun, we also consider this one an adjective pronoun because it is describing something else. The same with new. New is an adjective. It describes toy. Toy is a person, place, or thing, so it would be a noun. And then finally to him. Him, in this case, is also a pronoun, but him isn't describing anything, so we would consider that our objective pronoun. It's an object, it's not actually describing anything. And so there we go, grade 4s. That's how we tell our things apart in our sentences. Now, just to get a really good view of this, we are going to go through the next sentences and we're just going to mark them up as we would our sentences. And then we're going to find the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, the pronouns, so on and so forth. So look at the first sentence with me. We have the dog rolled down the hill. The first thing we want to do is underline the subject once. Can you find the subject? Well, I can. Dog is my subject, so I underline it once. What is the dog doing? What's the verb? Well, he's rolling. Rolled down the hill. Double underline rolling. Separate the subject and the predicate, and just like that, I've marked my sentence. Now, let's find our nouns. So first of all, dog is a noun. Is there anything else that is a noun? A person, place, or thing? Hill. Hill would be a noun as well because it is a person, place, or thing. A hill is a thing. Very good. Do we have any verbs? Well, rolled is our action verb, so we put a star next to that one. Rolled is our verb. What about adjectives? What things are adjectives? Oh, well, first of all, we have down the hill. Down is describing the hill, the downside of the hill. And also we have two thes. Now, if you remember really, really well from before, you will know that the is considered an article, but the also describes things. So for example, this the is describing the hill. So that is also an adjective. And this the is describing the dog. So that's also an adjective as well. So there we go. That's our first sentence. Let's try the second one. No pronouns in that one, just other things. Let's try the second one now. So let's start by marking our sentence. Nancy played with her yellow bear. See if you can find the subject and verb. Well, Ms. Freeman has found it. So, subject, Nancy. Verb, played. I'm going to separate that out with a line there. And now let's find our nouns, our verbs, our adjectives, and our pronouns. Starting with our nouns. Well, first of all, we know Nancy is a noun for sure. Another noun would be bear, because bear is a thing. So there we go. We have our nouns. What about our verbs? Well, played, already double underlined. That is our verb right there. Very good. Now, what about adjectives? Oh, well, yellow, for example. Yellow is describing the bear, so yellow is definitely an adjective. And what about her? Her is definitely a pronoun, so I'm going to underline it like a pronoun. But her is also describing bear, so it is a pronoun that is actually an adjective, just like that. Very good job. Two more to do. We're going to do them super, super quickly. Bill and his father like. There's my verb. Oops, I almost triple underlined it. That would be weird. So let's find our nouns. Bill is a noun. Father is a noun. Pie is a noun. Apple, I'm going to keep that as not a noun because I think there's something else we can use for it instead. Next, let's go with our verbs. Oops. Noun, noun, noun. Our verb is like. We already got that one right there. Now, what about his? His is technically a pronoun, but his is also describing whose father it is. So his, in this case, is an adjective. Also, apple is describing pie. So apple is also an adjective. Is there anything else Ms. Freeman missed in the sentence? I see one thing that's important that I missed. See if you can find it too. If you found it, you are doing really good. Eat is also an action word. It's also a verb, so we need to double underline that and put it as a verb as well. Well done. Last one, we have she is a lovely dancer. So she, on one underline, is a tricky verb, but I found it, double underline it, separate out the subject and predicate, and here we go. Nouns. Dancer is a noun because dancer is a person. So that's a noun. She is a subject in this case. It's not describing something. So this one is also considered a noun. We're going to put a little blue thing next to that one. Now, is definitely our verb. Good. And then we need our adjectives. A is describing dancer. It's an article. So A is an adjective. And lovely is describing dancer. So lovely is an adjective as well. There we go, grade 4s. That's how we find all 4 of these things in our sentences. As you go through your work, you will have to identify whether something is a subject or a noun, a verb, or an adjective. Make sure that you're taking those steps to do the right things there. I wish you the best.